Hello, friends. My name is Steve, and welcome to Steve Talks Books. Thanks for coming by, watching my weekly update. It's where I talk about what I, in this case, haven't been reading, what I didn't get to, and everything else in between. If you'd like to connect with me, the best places on our forums at pagechewing.com. So we have all of our planned meetups, our calendar, all of our blogs, all the stuff we have going on is there. And that's where I spend most of my time online now. It's just where I get the most fulfillment. Instead of doom scrolling on whatever other platform, I just go there and have where I know I'm going to have good conversation. And plus, I went on a bit of a rant this week, so go check that out if you're curious. I'm fine. I just had to get it off my chest. Also, I can also be found on YouTube on my other channel at Steve Talks Movies. I am almost done with the 24 A24 videos in 24 days. Go check that out. If you're curious, we have The Green Knight today. You're watching this on Sunday. Tomorrow we have The Witch, and I am done. That's it. And I'm taking a little bit of a breather. It's been a busy few weeks, but it's been fun. I can also be found on Vero. That's where I post most of my photography, what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, things like that. I post most of it there. It's another place that I get inspiration from and don't feel sick to my stomach when I'm on there. So those are the best places to find me other than here. So if you'd like to connect, that's where to find me. Let's start with what I've been reading. And actually, I haven't gotten a whole lot of reading in this week. It's just been a very hectic week with all the movies and live streams every day. I just haven't had that much reading time. I just haven't gotten too much in. I have read some of the Ships of Merrier from it's the second book in the Wars of Light and Shadow series. We are discussing 4 chapters every 2 weeks, so our group has a more relaxed reading pace, and I'm glad we do. So I have to read another 3 chapters. I think I've only read 1 chapter this week, but in my defense, those chapters are pretty damn big, so I think I'm doing okay. But I'm really trying to take my time with that series, especially because it's very dense, and I feel just have to slowing my reading pace down a little bit, just so I don't miss anything. All right, I don't feel like I didn't get as much out of it as I can if I'm kind of not rushing, but if I'm not just consciously pumping the brakes, if that makes sense. I think everyone can relate to that. I also read Berserk. We're talking a volume a week, so it's about 250 pages, give or take. But it's manga, so it's not the same. It's a much quicker read. But the more I get into the series, the more I like it. There's lots of things that have happened before that are starting to pay off. I won't spoil anything, but I'm really, really enjoying this series quite a bit. I like it a lot. So this week, I plan to read more of the Ships of Merrier. I'm going to continue reading that because we're discussing it every 2 weeks. More Berserk. I also plan to finally get to The Entangled Life. I just didn't have a chance this week, so it's been on the plans. Just didn't get to it. And also, I plan to start The Burning Girls. That'll be a buddy read with my buddy Lady Jane Books. So looking forward to that. And also, there's some other series that I'll be continuing, but this week I'm trying to focus on just a couple so I can kind of spread things out a little bit. So, last week on the channel, we did have the Friday conversation with Nico Bell and Robert Royal Poff. My friend Chris Moen joined us for that one as well. We had a great conversation about horror romance, science fiction, apple pie cake, zombie apocalypse weapons, Eminem, Loopy Fiasco. What else we talked? Lots, as usual, lots and lots of different topics. Had a great time with that group, and so check that out. It's on YouTube or the podcast. I do have some other plans for the podcast that I'm tossing around, some podcast exclusive stuff. Not really exclusive, but some content that I'm thinking about doing that will just be exclusively on the podcast or on a podcast. So I'm thinking about it. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to not rush into any decisions after this 24 videos thing. So that's pretty much it for my update. I wanted to mention a couple of things we have coming up later this summer. We just finished up the Aspect Emperor series, and I have not I have not been able to get it out of my mind. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. I I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm constantly thinking back to certain events, and I'll be doing a reread probably in August is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure about the reading pace. I'm not sure if there'll be discussions or not. It depends on interest, but I will at the very least be posting updates on the forum. I'm going to be creating a whole section for that series on the forum for discussions and all that kind of fun stuff. So if you're interested in reading with me, if you've never read it, let me know. Join the forums if you're not already there. Let me know so we can start making plans, because I'm going to get back into this series, give it a reread, and I'm going to be picking certain things out. So certain things I want to focus on, like characters, themes, and I'll be making other videos about certain aspects of the series, just because I'm like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave that world, as bleak as it is. There's just so many things now that I've finished it that I'm thinking about that happened before. So I'm going to revisit it. If you've never read it and you want to read with me, if you just want to discuss on the forums, or if you want to have discussions, let me know what you're interested in doing, and we'll try and make it work. I'm open to anyone. Just like I said, it's all organized there. I'll be making those sections probably today, the day you watch this. So go check that out. Let me know. Let me know. Also, we will be discussing 30 Days of Night, the graphic novel, and the movie soon. So we just have to make dates for that. Also, we will be discussing Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing. I believe that's on Varsha's channel. That'll be, I think we're starting in mid-June. It's a 6-volume arc. So go if you're interested. We have those threads going on the forums too. And we're very open people, so come on by, join us. Anyone's welcome. Doesn't matter. Just come and join us. We like meeting new people, and yeah, we're a friendly bunch. Come by and check it out. Let's see what else on my on my list. I have a couple of questions this week. We have been talking recently on the forums about finding new music. Not only it's like new music to you that you just haven't heard of before, those diamonds in the rough, because you listen to music and you hear a lot of things on whatever platform you listen on, or whatever, like YouTube. Certain things are promoted, and it's hard to find stuff that is kind of like off the beaten path, like music that's being created that you just won't hear about. Where do you look for new music, or do you not look for new music? Some people don't. I think some people just don't have the time or patience to do it, and I understand that, because it is tough to find new music. It's like, it takes time. Like, you have to go through a lot of crap to find some good stuff. But for me, what I normally do is there's some YouTube channels. Like, I believe there's a metal channel. I forget what it's called. Headbangers something. I keep wanting to say Headbangers Ball, but that's back in the day MTV stuff. Gen X, you know what I'm talking about. And the older millennials know what I'm talking about there. But there's some like YouTube channels that review music that I'll find new music from that I haven't heard of before. Or I'll look on bandcamp.com. You can buy digital music there. I think you can even buy physical too. But you just look through them and kind of sample things and see what you kind of like get into. Once in a while, find stuff on YouTube, but that's hard with, suggestions and stuff. The algorithm, sometimes it just promotes popular stuff to you. So it's tough. So how do you find new music to you? Where do you look? What's your process? I'll try and go through some stuff and try and find music that appeals to me. Not always easy, but it's worth it to find new stuff. And I know I talk about AI a lot on these updates because it's just such a fascinating thing to me. It's going to change everything. It's changing everything very, very quickly. And it's like a freight train it's going too fast for our own good. It feels like things are just moving too quickly. Things are changing too fast, and everything else isn't able to keep up with it. It's just advancing so quickly. So it does fascinate me what's happening right now. We're living through it. And I think things are going to really change in the next 2 to 3 years. Things are going to be very different with entertainment. And I'm curious to see what happens with the writer's strike that's happening and AI, because do writers lose leverage with AI in the mix? I mean, our studios going to say, well, we're going to pay you less because we can use AI to create it and you can clean it up. We don't need someone to start it from scratch anymore. You just put it in this, in this, you put it in there and then it spits out something and we'll have you clean it up. We don't need you anymore as much as we did before. It's just such a strange thing. It's such a fascinating time to just follow what's happening. So in that same vein, what I've been curious about, and there's been some discussions about copyright and AI and how that works. So I looked up AI and copyright laws, and I'll put this on the screen for you, but I'll also link it below. But in the office's view, it is well established that copyright can only protect material that is the product of human creativity. Most fundamentally, the term author, which is used in both the Constitution and the Copyright Act, excludes non-humans. The office's registration policies and regulations reflect statutory and judicial guidelines on this issue. So I was curious if let's say an AI produces a story that is very becomes the next Song of Ice and Fire or whatever. And I know we're a little bit ways away from that. I know that it's not to that point yet where it can do it by itself. But let's say it does. Let's say it creates something that's very popular and a studio says, I want to adapt that because it's very popular and I love the story. How does that work with copyright laws and protections? And because you can get certain, you can copyright certain things to prevent other people from using it or from using the name, the likeness, the characters, all that kind of stuff. So how is that going to work? Law is one thing that I think isn't keeping up fast enough with AI, because we're just going to see lots and lots of AI produced material. How is it going to work if, let's say, someone creates a book that everyone loves and they want to adapt it? How do you prove that and if they claim they wrote it and they didn't, or vice versa even, how do you prove that you wrote it? How do you prove that it's a product of human creativity? A human created it and not AI. How do you go about doing that? Lots and lots of interesting things. And I know some people aren't worried about it. Like AI is a ways away from creating a book from start to finish without us seeing the difference. I don't think so. I think we're a year or so away from us really not knowing whether a book or a movie or whatever is created from AI or humans. I think it's going to advance very fast and it's going to be wild. It's going to be very, very interesting. Another question I have for you, lots of questions, is let's say you went to the bookstore or you went on Amazon or wherever you buy your books and a book said on the back of it, created by AI. Are you going to be more or less likely to buy that book knowing it's created by AI? Or does it matter to you? If you grab a book, do you want to know? Do you want to notice do you want it to be known on the book? Like, do you want a label or something on the book that tells you it's created by AI or AI had some kind of part in creating it? Does any of this stuff matter? Because I would want to know. I think I would want to know if AI created it or not. It's just going to be a fun time. A very fun time. Not fun in like a fun way, but fun like fascinating, because I feel for artists right now. It's crazy. It's wild what's going on right now. It's a little great. It's really seeing it from the sidelines, because I'm not a writer and it create, but it's just such a interesting time to see how fast technology is advancing everything else and how it's just almost like we can't keep up with it because it's going too fast. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on these topics. I'd love to hear about it. So I think that's about it this week. It's kind of a quick one. Just been watching lots of movies, and then we have live streams. That's been my afternoons, and that's been what I've been doing. So a couple more days and I'll be done, and looking forward to just taking a breath. Taking a breath. No challenges for a while. No challenges for a while. The next challenge I have really is I have a bike ride in June, the end of June in Hemis. It's a 50-mile ride that is, I think, 5,000 feet of climbing. So I'm trying to get ready for that too. And it's been tough getting ready for that too. So I need to focus on that so I don't, die. So I don't need a helicopter to come and pick me up in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, so I'll be preparing for that. So that's the next challenge for me is surviving that bike ride. I believe it's June 25th. It's a Saturday, I believe. Sorry, let me cheat. It is June 24th. Excuse me. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's my next challenge. So how are you doing? What are you reading, watching, or listening to? I'd love to hear about it. Tell me about your week. What have you been up to? How are things going for you? How's your things are warming up? How are things? Do you have any new plans? Are you outside more? Are you doing more things? Like in the garden or anything else? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear about it. Love to chat about it. So I hope you're all having a great week. Have a killer week this week, and we will talk to you all very soon. Everyone have a great week. Thanks again for your support. We'll talk to you soon.